What's popping, y'all? 6ix9ine has been on a roll, and this new blessing of a clip that has hit my timeline was from Trap Lil Ross. So shout out to Trap Lil Ross for this one, but it's 6ix9ine showing some DMs and going off and making some accusations towards Lil Durk that I cannot in good conscience let fly. So I'm gonna play you guys the clip right now.
50 million, they, meaning the Saudi Arabians, because he's fake Muslim. He's not a real Muslim. He's only Muslim when it's convenient for him to take advantage of the sheiks and the princes in Dubai to fund him. This is a fake Muslim. When was Durk Muslim? 2012, 2013? Pull it up right now.
He only went Muslim after the body.
These niggas go to jail and turn Muslim for protection. Alhamdulillah that. Look,
Man.
Look, you need money, you broke or something? LOL 50 my own money. You just said they'll pay you. I said I ain't gonna put you in a position to make it. Look what I said,
man.
bro.
We could have got some bread together, man.
He said, look, go finish making Spanish music. This side done. I don't fight rats for free. 50 million, big money. I said, I'm not gonna put you in a position to make no money. I'll fight you for free, you bum broke Muslim, right? And he said,
see what you wrote
and he
there.
said after that one is the LA finish, you need help. I said, go fight your brother's killer then. Go fight D-Thing's killer. You shot your brother in the head. You talking about, or Newski, or Vaughn's Tim. Why you in my DM? What are you talking about, man? Yeah, like, I'm capping?
Nah, I just see everything.
Yeah, bro. Like, and this is on my, what's your line, twin? Fuck out of here. I'm Christian.
So here we got Durk being called a fake Muslim by none other than 6ix9ine. Now, I will say, there's a lot of trendiness that I would say the trendiness towards Islam came around 2021. Like when you started hearing who Shiesties allegedly Muslim, you're like, what's going on here? It felt like the 2010s, there was a lot less of that. 2000s, for sure. I mean, you had Busta Rhymes making songs like Arab Money, but there's always been that influence of Islam in hip-hop, whether you just go back to NOI, which very different, but that, like, the names, all that other stuff, and that's partially why Philly has so many Muslims, because the son of Elijah Muhammad ended up leaving the NOI and becoming like an Orthodox Muslim, and a lot of people followed him. I believe his name was Warith Dean Muhammad. So that's why there's a lot of Muslims in Philly, Black American Muslims in Philly, or FBA as some people would call it. And there was a stronghold of NOI in Philly as well. But we're not going to go into a history lesson. I think this is 100% cap by 6ix9ine. Now, I will rewind and say, Durk, there is interview, paperwork, whatever you want to call it. 2018, Lil Durk did an interview with Vlad in 2018, and the video title is, this is like Lil Durk regrets calling himself the Allah of Chicago in Vlad TV interview. This is May 24th, 2018 that this happened. Keep in mind, he already called himself like the Allah of Chicago and was already Muslim the year prior, at least a year prior. So at least going back until 2017, he was public about it. And then in the interview, he talks how he became Muslim. So he talks about it, and he says his father was a preacher, imam, I believe it's called, in prison, where he did 20 years in the feds, which we know he's tight with his father. He's really close with him. He has a lot of respect for him. He cut off Gunna because how tight he was with his father and how much he hates snitches and rats. We haven't heard him say a thing. He's just stood down, sat down, solid, didn't complain about no prison or jail conditions because he's awaiting. His trial hasn't happened yet. So he's just sitting down, taking his time, hasn't complained once, which we got to give him respect for. And if we go back to 2017, nobody was really Muslim in the game. Like, it wasn't like a hot thing to convert to. So for his dad to come out and then Durk, hops on the religion, he's just following his father's footsteps, who he said he has a lot of respect for. And he also said in this interview, I don't know if the rules have changed. I got to ask some people that are close to Vlad if we can use like Vlad clips now. But in the interview, he said it was partially his father for him converting to Islam, as well as linking up with Rollo. Now, if you guys know Rollo, he's Muslim. He's out there in Atlanta. And Rollo, I would say I think he has this place called like Pakistan or something, but it was this big enclave of apartments and different buildings that Rollo had. And Rollo, he was one of the first rappers where I've seen him have like a whole kind of like Muslim community. Now these guys were with the ish, right? You would see them put down their AKs. You would think it was, what is it? It's Kabul, Afghanistan. The way they have all their stuff laid down, and then they would have the prayer mats, and by stuff I mean their weapons laid down, and then Rollo would be praying with them. So he kind of built community around it. But I would say Durk is the one that introduced Islam to a lot of these other people after Rollo. But Durk was popping after, let's say, Laugh Now, Cry Later with Drake. That was the song name, right? No way, I'm misremembering the name. But yeah, so he blows up with that song, or re-blows up. And then I think all of these people start getting around Durk, and they start hopping on the Muslim stuff. Now, why would people call Durk a fake Muslim? I don't know. I think it's probably because of, and this is the thing, I think he started talking about it more the more he learned. Because the first time, like, he made that lyric, people were like, yo, you're not allowed to say this. This is blasphemy. This is a very big deal. So I think he pulled back, and I think his father scolded him as well. So it wasn't until he learned more, and then he was like, okay, I'm comfortable being more out there with this. And then you would see him like in different celebrations and prayer. And I think he brought like King Von with him as well. I don't know if King Von was Muslim though. So that happened. And then I think he got enough knowledge to be like, okay, I can represent this now. Granted, you know, there is a conflict between what he does and also like the religion, but this is why I don't think you could call him a fake, because is 6ix9ine a fake Christian for all that he does, for tricking on these chicks, for hooking up with prostitutes, for putting hands on chicks? Are we going to label 6ix9ine that? No, that's why I think, and in that same interview, Vlad said he was talking to Arab, and Arab acknowledges and says like, yeah, you know, like some of the stuff, and Arab is serving a hefty sentence right now. I don't think he'll get out before, you know, his life is over, unfortunately. But Arab would talk about how he feels like that there is contradiction in his life, in the actions that he makes, and his religion/belief system, and he is doing things wrong, but he acknowledges that. And I think that's the most important thing. Because if someone is justifying what they do and they're like, nah, you know, like actually this is kind of allowed, that's when you can call someone a fake, because they're trying to justify something. Versus a Lil Durk who, yeah, he grew up in the streets, that's what it is, and he's doing things that are wrong, and he's asking for forgiveness, and, you know, he's continuing to push forward. However, and also I'll give you guys another example of this. One of Ty Dolla $ign's like first big albums, Free TC, great album by the way if you haven't listened to it. I think it came out like over 10 years ago. It was in dedication to his brother. Ty Dolla $ign's brother TC is locked up for, dude, I think he's doing like 20 to 25 or plus. A very, very long time in prison. And they did an interview with his brother in Complex, I think. I'm just recalling this from memory. And his brother TC is a Muslim, but he's also a gang member. And he's in California State Prison, which is a little bit different because it's kind of like divided by race and gangs. And he talks about how despite him being Muslim, and Ty Dolla $ign, I don't think he's Muslim, but TC says despite him being Muslim and other people in the state prison being Muslim as well, if they are the opposing gang, he has to be against them, because that's just how the politics work in the prison. So now, are you going to say like, yo, his brother's a fake Muslim because he's attacking his like Muslim brother, or he's in a position where he has to do that? There's a lot of nuance there. And I do think that nuance is different than what Durk was getting up to, which is like catching bodies. But hey, is it like, y'all let me know, is it allowed or is it forbidden for Durk to catch a revenge body for his mans that got killed? I don't think so. I think revenge is allowed, isn't it? We got to have a religious scholar or two or an amateur scholar or two in the comments. We've got one of everything in the comments. That's why I love the comment. I love my comment section, actually. Most comment sections suck. You guys are pretty entertaining. I can't lie. We got the unemployed guys coming in first, and then we got the people catching up a little bit later. It's like we've all got a little club, you know? So Lil Durk is not no fake Muslim. Now, I will say there was a lot of grifting. And yeah, like I said, 2021, like once Tate got into it, now I'm not saying Tate was grifting, quote unquote, because there really isn't much of a benefit other than, yeah, you could say like people in the Middle East will mess with you more if you're a celebrity that joins their religion. But how much time did Durk spend there really? I think 6ix9ine spent more time in Dubai than Lil Durk. Lil Durk was just out here in Chicago. And Chicago was also, I believe that's where NOI was stationed originally. Now, granted, he's not NOI, but you guys get my point there. Chicago is still a city I really need to go to, man. I can't believe I have not been there. So I think Lil Durk is just hating on Lil Durk, or I think 6ix9ine is just hating on Lil Durk, which fair enough. I mean, they've got some real deal beef. And no, I don't think Lil Durk was. I just want to clear the narrative that no, Lil Durk did not come into this thing when everybody else did, and he didn't do it for the same reasons that everybody else did. It goes back as far as 2017, which is one of the earliest conversions we have of any modern rapper, and it was through his father, and we could see that his father is still committed to the faith. So we're not throwing fake dirt on the name of Lil Durk. And this is me who I mess with Youngboy over Durk. I'm just being honest here. I like Youngboy's music better. I do think Youngboy lost the beef to Durk in that span of time. Granted, Durk, he just had the whole industry on his side. Over a longer span of time, yeah, Youngboy ended up winning because now he's free and he's having a crazy tour. We've never seen a tour like this for Durk. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you have any disagreements, feel free to drop them. Now, do give me some names of rappers who y'all think is quote-unquote fake Muslim. Because I think the whole thing is like, it's weird because it's one of the religions where someone has to follow every single rule or they're fake. Like, when does it become fake? Because if you take these people from these countries that 6ix9ine is talking about, man, these people is knocking down drink. Man, if you link up with them in London, what is it, Mayfair? Is that where they, or Kensington, whatever area? These people from the GCC, the Gulf states, these people are knocking down drinks. Come on now, like they're wilding out. So if they're doing that, I mean, I didn't see Durk doing all that. Like, Durk is just, he's just in the streets. He wasn't selling drugs. He was rapping and he was getting revenge for his mans. So what was so terrible about what Durk was doing? Let me not try to knock down what Durk. What Durk was doing was chaos. Yeah, he was promoting some chaos. But yeah, I think it's just the circumstances. Like, some people, they got their own struggles with whatever sin that they may have to deal with. And it just so happened to be that Durk's was public. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.